moments ago finished watching President Obama's speech at the Tucson, Arizona memorial for the people that died in the shooting in Arizona. Well, this was an important speech. Of course, it was important because it honored both the people that were hurt and killed, and it honored the people in various ways that stepped up in a moment of crisis and violence and helped other people, saved other people, in some cases sacrificed their own life to save other people. So of course it's important to acknowledge and honor those people, and it's important to give a place for people to express the grief of loss and shock in the moments, and in the moments as is of form like a memorial is, to express and acknowledge and honor grief and loss, and to express and honor the lives of the people that we've lost. And of course that was done with a great deal of grace, and that part of the speech was very important and very lovely. A couple times I almost started crying, of course, and I didn't know any of those people. But it's more important even than that. These people and the situation have given not just people in Tucson, not just people in the US, but people all around the world an opportunity to have a shift, hopefully, in their consciousness. You know, it was incredibly poignant, the story about Christina, I believe her name was Christina Taylor Greene. I think that was her name. I apologize if I got that wrong. Who was born in 9/11 and was all about hope. And for her to have passed away in this manner, a child that actively and consciously wanted to find ways of helping people, and one of the ways she was probably going to be doing it was potentially through politics sometime in the future, who knows. But this speech is important because it offered us a moment of decision, which the president was able to actually take advantage of and use, and do so in a way that is in line with how the world is changing, how we'd like the world to change, where instead of acting from finger pointing and blaming, which is just a lighter version of the same kind of consciousness and fear-based thinking that the shooter used to make his decisions to behave in the way he did. Whether he was insane or not, it doesn't matter. We have an opportunity now, right today, in part as a result of that speech, to make a shift, because that message is going to go out into the mass consciousness. It's going to plant seeds in people to begin on a moment-to-moment basis, make a decision to act and speak from compassion, to in whatever small way from moment to moment. Let go of blame. Let go of fear, which is the source of blame. And let go of just nasty, ugly kind of ways of trying to manipulate other people through fear, through anger, through blame, through just stuff and ways of being and thinking and feeling that only add fuel to the fire. So I'm not sure what I want to do, because like I said, I don't know what I was going to talk about. I just knew I needed to speak quickly before I lost the feelings, because I've had a couple of other situations where I listened to something and I was very moved, and I decided to wait to try and say the right thing, and then the moment was gone for me at that point, at least on a spontaneous level. But let's take these words of choosing, when we speak to people, choosing words that have the potential for healing, as opposed to having the potential to protect ourselves out of fears, particularly out of old fears. You know, if you're not in a situation where you're in danger right in this moment, like the people that experienced Tucson, and like the people that acted, and okay, if you're not in a literally in a moment of danger in this moment on some level, do whatever you need to do to go into yourself and choose words and thoughts and feelings of hope and healing. You don't have to turn into a naive doormat. You don't have to let people hurt you. You don't have to do any of that. But you can choose consciously on a moment-to-moment basis, even with yourself, to choose thoughts and words and feelings that are healing, that are expansive, that are hopeful, that are positive. Last night, for example, I chose not to do that. There was one small situation that's going on in my life that really had nothing to do with anybody else. It was all about me, and I had a period of 2 or 3 hours, more or less, where for whatever reason, some of which I've gotten to the bottom to and some of which I haven't finished getting to the bottom to, I chose to have thoughts of self-pity and powerlessness, and what else? Just, yeah, that's good enough. And someone offered to do some help for me, and I consciously chose not to accept the help, because on some level I wanted to feel bad, okay? And I didn't have to do that. And all of us do the same thing in one form or another, for whatever reasons, out of misguided self-interest or self-protection or whatever. So it's a choice. Now, those of us that, particularly those of us that have techniques and tools like theta healing or others, can use those to find out the real reasons why we feel these things, and make it easier for us to choose less of the time feelings of powerless and fear and anger, especially ones that are habitual for us. Because on one level we have on a moment-to-moment basis we can choose. We can choose different words. We can choose different thoughts. We don't have to do this kind of work to be able on a moment-to-moment choose something different, but it can help other people. So if you do this work, one way that maybe you can help the world be more civil, act from compassion, start with yourself. Start looking at the reasons why you choose anger sometimes. You choose fear. You choose finger pointing. We all do it. You choose blame. And find out, using these ideas that we have, use these. Let's get to the bottom of why, so we can more and more and more consciously make choices from appropriate humility, not being humiliated, but humility, compassion, and the intent for healing, and the intent for co-creating, not just with Source, but with each other, a better world. A better world in your immediate family, a better world in the community, a better world in the world. A better world through shifting your own consciousness by deciding to be compassionate and using the tools you have to make it easier for you and therefore other people.